Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the definitive dark matter guide here for Black Ops 6. This video will quickly go over the entire grind from start to finish and provide quick tips and tricks to complete your challenges faster, though of course with skill-based matchmaking being so heavy in this game, the pace at which you get your camos is going to vary from lobby to lobby. Thankfully, however, the camo challenges in this year's game are very straightforward as we mostly rely on the old school approach of getting headshots to make up the vast majority of our challenges. Headshots are the universal challenge across almost every weapon category, including assault rifles, submachine guns, light machine guns, sniper rifles, shotguns, and even pistols. The only categories that don't require headshots are the launchers and melee weapons, which just require score streak destructions or kills. Before we get into these specific tips, we need to find out what game modes and what classes we're going to use to help expedite our camo grind. The best way to go about this is to abandon your favorite game modes. I was guilty of this myself. I mostly stuck to game modes like Domination and Hardpoint and everything, but abandon your favorite game modes and get ready to move into Stakeout and the rest of the Face-Off Mosh Pit playlist, because these maps are essentially just meat grinders where you're going to get thrown into tons and tons of gunfights, meaning you have way more potential to get your headshots. Whether or not you play core or hardcore is completely up to you, but I do recommend doing hardcore for certain weapons. These weapons will include all 4 pistols, the baseball bat, any semi-automatic weapon that you don't like using in core, the ASG shotgun, which is a real pain in the ass, as well as potentially any submachine gun. SMGs in this game are weird in that they can be quite good on small maps, but most of them require you to land 3 to 5 headshots to get a kill, and when you're up close with people butt sliding around all the time, it can sometimes just be easier to run into a room in hardcore and spray at people's heads and take them out in one bullet. It's also worth mentioning that with Season 1 and onward, new weapons count for the Dark Matter grind. Essentially, you need to get 33 weapons up to Diamond to unlock the Dark Spine challenges, which means you can take the new Krieg Assault Rifle and the new SOG Submachine Gun, get them gold, and then completely skip out on something like the melee weapon category or perhaps the launcher weapon category. With that being said, before we get into the real specific and general tips, here is how your classes should go. If you're playing core face-off or Nuketown, I recommend running the red perks for the health regeneration, which will help you out a ton along with your stim shots, and then from there you can choose primary gunfighter to make your gun even better, or alternatively, if you're fine with just 5 attachments, run perk greed to give yourself ninja, which is ridiculously valuable. You won't believe the amount of times that you die in this game while using SMGs or shotguns because people can hear you coming. Like, run ninja, it's really good, or perhaps swap things out for flak jacket. If you're playing in hardcore, I recommend a 3 blue perk setup, again with either primary gunfighter or perk greed, though gunfighter isn't really necessary in hardcore as most guns are always going to be a one shot to the head. Now, one massive thing I need to note here is this baby right here, the headshot barrel. You're going for headshots, so increasing headshot damage is good, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Most of the time, this barrel is such a lie and it only works on a very limited number of weapons in this game. Take the XM4 for example. If we press the right trigger to look at our detailed stats, we see that the XM4 does 26 damage for a headshot within its effective range, meaning that it's a 4-shot headshot. If we equip the barrel, however, this only increases your headshot damage to 28, which means you get a whole bunch of extra recoil added to your gun, and it's still a 4-shot headshot. This is true of nearly every gun in the game. The headshot barrel just isn't worth it most of the time, except in this scenario. If the headshot barrel increases your headshot damage to 34 or higher or 50 or higher, then it might be worth it. This means the gun goes from being a 4-shot headshot to a 3-shot headshot, or maybe a 3-shot headshot to a 2-shot headshot. But even then, this is kind of tricky because you take a gun like the Tanto submachine gun here, for example, and you can see that the barrel does make it a 2-shot headshot within its effective range. Like, that seems pretty good. But keep in mind, the effective range is only 6.3 meters. So if somebody that you're shooting at is outside of that very small range, it goes back to being a 3-shot headshot like normal, and you just added a bunch of extra recoil to your gun for no reason. The AK-74, however, is an example of the barrel being worth it. The barrel here takes the gun from a 4-shot headshot to a 3-shot headshot within its effective range of 38.1 meters, which is actually a pretty decent range. But overall, in my experience, the only guns that are really worth using this barrel on are the AK-74 assault rifle and then the PU light machine gun. That's pretty much it, but check for yourselves and see what setups work for you. With the classes out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and talk about these headshot challenges. In general, these challenges are very straightforward. Aim for the head, shoot, do that 100 times, and your gun is going to be done. This is not as cut and dry as you might think, however, because for starters, if you fancy yourself as a movement god, Stop it. Just stop doing that. You're not going to be getting any headshots butt sliding around the map. This is why you see so many people in the winner's circle who don't even have their gun gold yet, but they have like 1,200 kills on it. Just take your Ritalin, stop with the cracked out movement, at least for now. You can go back to being a movement demon once your camo challenges are done, because right now you need to adopt more of a stationary playstyle and holding down the right sight lines. The maps you're really looking for here are going to be Stakeout and Warhead within the Face-Off playlist. On Stakeout, it's pretty self-explanatory. Aim down the hallway and take out people on the other side. If you're using something like a shotgun or a submachine gun, you'll find yourself more running through the middle or the balcony side, and each time just be ready for an opponent and aim where you think their head is going to be. With Omni movement, this can be really hard to guess at times. A lot of people, like the ones I just mentioned, like to butt slide around the map all the time, which is why they get no headshots. And if your lobby is like that and the other team's sliding around like crazy, this is going to sound weird, but aim lower, especially on Stakeout, for example. A lot of people always like to slide around corners, so if you think they're about to come around that corner, just aim about crotch height essentially, and then you'll at least have a chance for a headshot. If your lobby is a lot more chill, then aim at head height and try to predict where they're going to be when you turn a corner. If you're on Warhead, there's some pretty standard spots that people go. Aim to take people out who head glitch on the box, aim for the people in the bus, aim for the people on the roof, although that's pretty hard, and then aim for the rock or maybe even the clock sign or the bomb. Basically, Warhead is one giant head glitching map, except for when people are running through the middle building, but in general, you want to try to hold the side of the map that has the roof, because it's really hard to kill people off of here. With enough time and patience, you can literally finish all of your headshot challenges on these two maps alone. If there's ever a Stakeout 24/7 playlist, then utilize the hell out of that. And I know a lot of people like Nuketown, and that's a completely viable path as well, but for me, I found that Face-Off was a lot faster because you don't need to really worry about things like map control as much. You don't have to worry about spawns as much or score streaks trying to hamper your progress. These maps are just meat grinders, man. You go in there, there's like 4 or 5 sight lines on every single map, fight in those sight lines, and you get your headshots. That's pretty much it. Headshots are very straightforward in this year's game, especially with these tiny maps, and I recommend that as much as you can, build your gun for as little recoil as possible, while also building for way less idle sway with something like a 2x or a 3x scope. This will make it so you can very accurately aim at your opponent's head, whether or not you're playing core or hardcore. Now, when it comes to the launchers and the melee weapons, nothing really changes. You still play the same maps essentially. You build your melee classes with Ninja and Double Time, and you run around to melee people. That's pretty much it. When it comes to the baseball bat, if you press left trigger instead of right trigger, it's going to give you the short little animation to lock in a kill, but keep in mind you can be shot by other people while you're doing this. This is why if you're playing core, you use the left trigger on the baseball bat. If you're playing hardcore, you use the standard right trigger and just take people out the old-fashioned way. The launchers are also a bit different though. You can choose to just blow up 50 people with each of them in Face-Off, but if you ever find yourself playing a normal game mode or maybe going to Nuketown 24/7, just run the Sigma on your back and shoot down every single UAV or score streak that appears, and over time, you're going to get your 50 score streak kills. And then with the AG1, the free fire rocket launcher, you can just use that on Stakeout or Warhead or anything in Face-Off pretty much. Just run around and get kills. It's not that hard. It's way faster than trying to take out air support. With the military camos now out of the way, it's time for these special challenges. These are different based on each gun, but they're all ridiculously simple. Most of them are like, get 30 hipfire kills. Okay, just build for hipfire. It's not that hard. Get 50 kills with a suppressor, get 50 kills with the enforcer combat specialty, on and on, right? They're all very normal and they won't take you very long at all when you're playing the Face-Off mosh pit. A few of them can be kind of tricky, however, as we have challenges like long shots and point blanks. For long shots, you just join into any game mode that you like and leave if it's not a larger map. From there, just camp along sightline with a decent scope and get 15 people, and this can be made even easier if you play something like hardcore to guarantee yourself a one-shot kill. Now for point blanks, you just need to completely build your setup for hipfire accuracy and just run into the other team as much as possible, and of course that's very easy to do on face-off maps like Stakeout, Pit, or even Warhead if you stay in the middle building. When it comes to the launchers, direct hits are not nearly as hard as you think they would be. Just play Stakeout essentially, aim at a doorway, aim down the hallway. When you see somebody, pull the trigger and it's probably going to direct impact them. But a bit of a harder challenge would be destroying 10 score streaks or equipment with the HE1 free fire rocket launcher. For this one, I recommend just putting on the engineer perk so you can see enemy equipment through walls, and then whenever they throw down something like an ammo pack or a spring mine or whatever, just shoot at it with your rocket launcher and blow it up as you're working on your other weapon challenges. Overall, these special challenges are all very simple and straightforward for the most part. The only ones that are kind of confusing, and some of you may be wondering about this, but we have ones like clean kills. What's a clean kill? Well, that's simply when you kill somebody without taking any damage. That's what a clean kill is. And when it comes to the challenges, for getting kills with the underbarrel equipped? Well, it's not just having an underbarrel grenade launcher equipped. You have to actually go ahead and get kills with your underbarrel grenade launcher for a few weapons. I think the AK-74 was one of them, and maybe the Model L. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but yeah, get kills with your noob tube. It doesn't take that much time, and there you have it. You are finished with all these special challenges. Now, for the gold challenges, these are also very simple. I mean, 10 double kills with every weapon in the game except for the launchers. This is as straightforward as it can possibly get. You get 2 kills quickly, and the timer is very generous. It's somewhere between like 2 or 3 seconds between kills, and you still get credit for a double kill. So whenever you get a kill while you're going for this challenge, immediately be ready for somebody else. Maybe spray through a wall if you have to, and before you know it, you're going to get your 10 double kills for every gun in the game, and gold will be completed. But the launchers, however, are a lot trickier, because here we need 3 destructions in a single match, which of course for the Sigma is not even a challenge. You just run it on your back and go play anything that isn't face-off mosh pit and destroy any streak that shows up in the sky, and then you're done in one game. It doesn't take very much time whatsoever, but the HE1 free fire launcher is a lot trickier. Because this thing is free fire, you need to basically get lucky 3 times in a single match. The best advice I can give is to try to get underneath the UAV or the counter UAV that the other team puts up, aim ahead of it, and line up your dot where the plane is moving, and then when it's just outside of your scope, fire the launcher. This works some of the time, but not all the time. Honestly, it's pretty freaking random, but you can also get lucky if people on the other team are running different kinds of streaks. Things like the helicopter, for example, are basically free kills. SAM turrets are wonderful, RC cars. You can shoot down Hellstorm missiles if you're actually quick enough, though realistically, a lot of the time, people typically just run UAVs and counter UAVs and helicopters here in Black Ops 6, so this challenge can potentially be very time consuming, so I recommend that when it's time for you to do it, you leave face-off 24/7, you jump into something like Nuketown or any other playlist that has kill streaks available, and then continue working on your other guns, and then just pray that the other team puts up air support, and then pray even harder that your rocket launcher is actually able to hit it. If you can destroy 3 streaks in one game with the HE1, your challenge will be completed. And with all that said, it's finally time for the diamond challenges, which honestly, I keep saying it over and over, but they're pretty simple. For most of the guns in the game, you just need to get 10 different 3 kill streaks, and this is way more frustrating than you may think, because you have so many guns to go through, so many 3 kill streaks to do, that dying on a 2 kill streak will suddenly become way more annoying than it used to be. But hey, it's a 3 kill streak. It's not that hard to pull off. It's a bit time consuming, sure, but it's not really that challenging. It is worth mentioning that these do indeed stack. So if you go on, say, a 6 kill streak, that will count as 2 parts of the challenge being done. If you go on a 9 kill streak with your gun, then that's 3 of your 10 done right there in that one life. This is only really tricky on melee weapons. My biggest recommendation is to only use your melee weapons on stakeout and get lucky. I hate to give you guys that advice, but you have to kind of get lucky. Most people are pretty cracked out on this map because they're always going for their challenges. So the best thing you can do is try to flank through the middle or flank through the sides, and occasionally pop a smoke to allow you to get closer to the other team, and then just hope that nobody sees you, or maybe run through the hallway and get one person at a time as you're running across the map. It really does come down to luck. The melees will take you some time, and I recommend core face-off for the knife and hardcore face-off for the baseball bat. The rocket launchers are not too bad, however, because it's just get 3 kills in a single match 10 times, and this means that each match you start off with your rocket launchers, right? You start off with your Sigma, get 3 kills with that, swap over to your HE1, get 3 kills with that, and then if there's any time left in the match, you can start working on one of your primary weapons, and then repeat that same process over and over through 10 different games. If you do all of that, you will have all of your diamond camos finished, and finally, we have the Dark Spine challenges, which can be very easy, but also very frustrating depending on the particular weapon. For everything except for the launchers, the Dark Spine challenge is get 3 triple kills, and how we're going to do this is we're just going to jump into hardcore face-off and start spraying. You would not believe how easy it is to get triple kills in hardcore, especially with things like light machine guns, assault rifles, submachine guns, even shotguns, for crying out loud. You can even go the core for shotguns because they're very good there as well, and these triple kills will happen way faster than you think because you don't need to aim for the head or anything. You just need to go and get 3 kills that are relatively close together, but keep in mind that timer is very generous. If you get a kill and then like wait a second or two, get another kill, then wait another second or two and get a third kill, that will still end up being a triple kill. This is only going to be really frustrating on things like your melee weapons and potentially your sniper rifles. If you're like me and you don't really like to snipe that much and you're not very good at it, then getting a triple kill might be a pain in the ass. But I will tell you guys this, go play on Warhead. Warhead is fantastic for sniper triple kills. The same is true of stakeout. And when it comes to the melee weapons, you just have to get lucky pretty much, man. You play really aggressively on stakeout, you throw a smoke, you get to the other side of the map where the whole other team is, and then you pray that you can take out 3 people, because if you get 3 people in general with a melee, it's going to be a triple kill. There's no way you're going to get like 2 people and then run across the entire map and kill a third. Like, most of the time you're going to get shot, especially in hardcore. You just have to get lucky pretty much. It's going to take you some time. The melees can be incredibly frustrating, though like I mentioned earlier, if you want to skip the melee weapons, you can do that with the DLC guns as they come out throughout the course of the Black Ops 6 life cycle. The hardest challenge by far for Darkspine, at least for me personally, some people didn't have too much trouble, would be the rocket launchers. For the Sigma, it's not even hard. You have to get 5 destructions, which is destroy a score streak, in 3 different matches. If you have the Sigma, that's simple. I mean, you shoot down 5 UAVs in a match, you're done. You can even back out and join another match and do it again, back out, do it again, and then you're done. Like, the Sigma's not even hard. The HE1, this one, if you guys saw my previous video, man, I lost my mind trying to do this. Destroying 5 score streaks in a match with a free fire launcher is ridiculously painful, considering how random it pretty much is as you're trying to take out UAVs. What's also very frustrating, I'm not going to reiterate too much from my previous video, but what's also very frustrating is there are times where I don't even see 5 score streaks in a single match put up by the other team, which definitely makes things incredibly frustrating. So don't be like me when it comes to getting your Darkspine challenges. Of course, you can just jump into Face Off and do things very quickly there, but one thing you might also want to do, especially if you're completely sick and tired of playing Face Off by now, is go play like the normal Black Ops 6 multiplayer, whether that's Nuketown or Dom or Hardpoint or whatever. Just go play the game normally, try to get your triple kills there normally, and always have that HE1 rocket launcher on your back, so that if there are score streaks put up, you could try to take them out while you're working on all of your other weapons, right? I got to the point where the only challenge I had left to unlock Dark Matter was to get those 5 destructions with the HE1 in 3 separate matches. I had nothing else to do, so I just found myself literally running into the other team, letting them kill me, and praying that they would put up UAVs, and praying that my rocket launcher would actually hit them, you know? Obviously run Engineer, because that's going to make it so if they do have any ground-based score streaks, you're going to be able to see where they are. It also makes tracking score streaks in the sky a little bit easier, but yeah, this is by far the hardest challenge in Black Ops 6, so if you want to skip it with some of the DLC weapons, I highly recommend that. But for those of you who do want to do the launchers, I wish you the best of luck, man. I really do. And once you finally finish that, you are now done with Darkspine, and congratulations, you have more challenges. I don't know if I like this. So in previous games, once you did all the challenges, you just unlocked Dark Matter for every weapon in the game. Well, that's not true here in Black Ops 6. Once you do all the Darkspine challenges, you technically can get Dark Matter, but you still have to do more challenges. You have to get 3 5-kill streaks with virtually every gun in the game. And of course, there are different challenges for the launchers. I think it's just get 5 eliminations in a single game 3 times, but that's really not that big of a deal. These are 5 kill streaks. Congratulations, you made it to Dark Matter. You can now finally play the game normally. If you want to still stay in Face Off and run around and get your 5 kill streaks there, you can do that. But for me, what I did is I just went back to the normal Black Ops 6 multiplayer for the first time since the launch of the game, and I just played normally. I was playing the objective, going for my score streaks and everything, trying to stay alive, and then from there, I found that those 5 kill streaks happened a lot more organically, and I was able to go for the guns I actually want to get Dark Matter on. Things like the XM4, the Model L, things like the C9. I did one of the sniper rifles and all that, you know, but congratulations. Once you get to this point, it just takes some 5 kill streaks and you can finally play the game normally, and you can get Dark Matter on the weapons of your choosing. There is a calling card, I believe, for getting Dark Matter on 33 weapons in the game, so if that's something you want to go for, feel free. Or alternatively, if you just want to get Dark Matter for your assault rifles and your submachine guns and never touch a rocket launcher or a sniper rifle again, you can also do that. It's completely up to you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for my Dark Matter guide here today. I hope you enjoyed it. If this helped you out at all, please drop me a like on the video. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.